Hi, this is Gwen Lafluer, and I am very excited to be the Stencil Club designer for August. And my Stencil Club's collection this month is one that I'm calling Bogolonfini, or African mud cloth, and it is featuring a whole bunch of different patterns that have been pulled from authentic mud cloth from Mali in Africa. And I just love the tribal patterns and all the different versatility and the way that plays into my own style and my artwork. And I am really thrilled to be able to put these into stencils to share with all of you as well as all of the Stencil Club members. And so there's a little bit more about the history in the introduction that I wrote for the blog post, but for now, let's just get to the stencils. There are two 9x12 stencils. And again, these are only for Stencil Club, so you've got to be a member of the club to get these, but it is totally worth it. So the first one, I got to figure out which direction I'm going here, has 4 different patterns on it, and they can all repeat, and you can mix and match and intersperse them. There's so much that you can do. And because I've already used these stencils so much, I have stenciled them off so that you can see what the patterns look like a little bit more clearly. So hopefully there's one of my favorites right there. And then that's the other one that is off of that stencil. So you see all of the cool things, all of the cool patterns that are on that one. And then the second stencil is this one right here. And I'll turn it sideways and you can probably see it better. This one has a couple of different patterns in it. And this one on my left-hand side here, with the X's in the middle, is kind of like a rug, but it's just boundaries of different levels of frames that you can cut out and turn into frames. But these are the border patterns that are on there, and you can kind of mix and match those with the other stencil and repeat them. And then this is how the big one looks. And that one is really a lot of fun. And I have done a couple of things with these already. As you can see, the stencils are well loved, and I've been playing with them a lot. And so I've got a few things I can show you. So first, I've made some collage materials, and one of the first things I did is I took that frame stencil and made it into one where you can break it apart, and you can see how that stencil turns into 3 different frames and then a fun little center position or a center piece right there. And so that's just one of the ways that you can use it. And I just thought that was a lot of fun, and I've got these all cut out and ready to use. I haven't decided what I'm going to put them in yet, but. And then I've made lots and lots of different pieces of collage paper. Obviously, you can stencil these. I've done some things on tissue paper, and here you can see how some of the patterns repeat to become a little bit bigger. Or, let's see if I can find, here's a couple where I have mixed 2 patterns together from the 2 different stencils, or another one where I've stenciled one pattern on top of another one. So you can see a lot of different possibilities here, but there's more of that. If you get the project video, you'll be able to see all of these. That comes along with being a Stencil Club member, so you get that project video. The next thing is because mud cloth is cloth, I decided to go ahead and do some cloth things with this. And it just so happens that I have a couple of pieces of the African mud cloth, some bigger pieces. I have some smaller ones too, but this one is one of my favorites. You get a nice mix of patterns there. You can feel the seams where the pieces that have been hand woven are sewn together. And so I love that piece. And then here's another one where you get different patterns and colors on the same piece of cloth. So you can see that the patterns are often on a much bigger scale, but it comes from putting these symbols on cloth. And when they make them, they do it with a resist, with mud, among other things. But here we get to use stencils. And so I wanted to kind of honor that tradition of it being an actual textile process and make some different textiles. And so I've stenciled and then dyed some strips of fabric so that I can do some things with that. And then some thicker strips. You can see how I've interspersed patterns here. And I've got some long strips of cloth. Same thing here. You can use just the center section of that one piece, and then I put a different one on the side just to give you a few ideas. And again, I've mixed some patterns here and mixed colors as well. I have some where I've put it on a rougher cloth and then added different colors to it. I thought that was fun. This particular pattern looks like coffee beans to me. Did some of them on different colors. So I've got some were light on dark and just some different pieces. So you can see from a cloth perspective, I thought these also, these make really great pieces if you're into any kind of stitching or if you like to use cloth in your artwork the way that I do. But you can see how you can build them out. This one has lots of different designs from both stencils in it, and each one in a different color. So you can see that there are a lot of possibilities for mixing and matching these, and you don't have to use them exactly as they are. And then the other piece is that you can take that a step further and make that a embroidery. So this one, I don't know if you can see it. I took one of the patterns from one of the stencils and I have just added some embroidery to it. So you can see that that can become a stitching pattern. And of course, I couldn't stop there. I really love to work with clay. And so I took just some paper clay, some air dry clay, and I made my little bowl of goodies right here. And I made a whole bunch of these little lightweight things, and you can, I put some pictures of them on there that they could put into the blog post, but you can see I just made these really lightweight things using the stencil with the paper clay. See if you can get the dimension on that. And just made this whole little bevy of embellishments that I can use on journals or artwork. I also took the paper clay and I made some beads. So you can see there's the whole, just made a very kind of a handcrafted lentil bead. And I made some handmade cylinder beads that remind me a lot of some of the different types of African trade beads that you can get. Some different kinds here with the, so just to show some of the versatility and the different things that you can do just with stencils in general, but also with this particular set. I love how the patterns, these little tiny X's in the circles, I love how the patterns really lend themselves to a whole variety of different kinds of projects. And so I took some of the papers that I've made, some of the fabrics, some of these little clay elements, and I made a few little pieces. And so first I made this little teeny tiny mini book. And you can see I put one of those clay pieces on the front. And then I took some of the fabrics that I had made and also some plain tape, and I stenciled the tape, and I made just a little mini book. And then every page in the book has been stenciled, so that I now have this fun little mini book with all of the backgrounds ready made for me to go in and start to add layers to it. And so just a little teeny tiny, just a lot of fun. That was kind of on a whim that I created, but just to see some the versatility for both bookmaking and how you can pull that together with the fabric and the embellishments and collage papers. And then I took some of the pieces and I made this guy. So you can see I did another one of the clay pieces, and I've got some of my fabric pieces, some stenciled paper, and then I added some other elements because that's, you know, my style, to bring a little bit of the bling into it, and then some African trade beads and a recycled glass bead in there as well. And so lots of fun things, lots of different ways that you can go. And of course, I mentioned you get a video lesson, like a mini class that comes as a part of Stencil Club. And so my lesson, I'm going to show it very quickly, is going to be on creating some collages. So I'm going to just put these across the screen and just let you see really quickly a sneak peek of what the lesson is going to be that goes with this month's stencils. So again, we've got my Bogolonfini, which is basically anything, it's made with mud on fabric, so mud cloth. And so again, here's the stencils, stencil number 2. And I hope that you really love these. I love them. Obviously, I'm having a great time using them. And I hope that you love them as well. And just remember, if you are not already a member of Stencil Club, it's the only way you can get them. So be sure to sign up by August 14th, and they will automatically ship to you with this month's shipment going out to everybody. And then the class will be shared and posted for you as well. So I hope you enjoy them. I hope you're excited about it, and can't wait to see what you make.